be honest. I train a lot of them. They're jerks. And so, like, something like that. Yeah, they are. They're just a lot. Right. They're just like, they're always right here. Yeah. And they don't have any social awareness. Yeah. Like, they're not natural existent. Like, they would never naturally exist. You know, they're a forced breed. So, like, in those cases, you have a lot of behavior issues. Yeah. I get a lot of them for actually extreme fear aggression, like biting people and other dogs. Because
they're marketed as this like family dog.
Well, I think the other thing is hypoallergenic. I think that's
hypoallergenic.
a big reason a lot of people.
I get a lot of them that are fear aggression, that to the point, like, he had a little fear aggression where like growling, right? Yeah. But like, no, like I'm talking like bite your arm, not really let go type stuff. And it's just because genetically they're just not supposed to exist. Right. And so unfortunately they have a lot of behavioral problems. But like we had one, he was like a big doodle, he's like about that. He got right in his face. He didn't do anything wrong. He just was like, and like growled at him. And of course the person was like, oh my God. And I was just like, Louie, and I was just asking him to step back and sit, and I was like, you need to take your dog away, right?
I know, everybody automatically assumes like the dog's aggressive. It's like, no.
I was like, no, your dog just was rude.
We're being rude.
Your dog was super rude. Like, why would you let your dog do that, right? Yeah. I mean, would you want me to do that to you? Yeah. Right? Like, get in your face and be like, hi, what's going on? What's up, right?
I don't know you.
Yeah. I mean, you would probably push me or maybe punch me in the face, right? Type thing. Yeah.
These two have no clue what a snake is.
Yeah. Oh, you see one out there?
I saw two. One was off in the woods.
Oh, wow.
But one little black snake about that long was laying on the trail.
Oh.
They almost walked right over it.
Oh my God. They're just clueless.
They're telling me.
That's funny.
And then
that's hilarious.
One's got a gold doodle,
buddies.
And it kept walking right over the top of it.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. That's not good.
It's not good, bro. No, that's horrible.
Dogs have lost their wild instincts.
Yeah, a lot of times they have, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah.
But not you, Louie.
It's just a stick playing on it.
Right? Yeah, it's just a stick. It's just there. Yeah. My bully used to kill snakes. I had an American bully.
Yeah, a lot of dogs, you can't keep them away from.
Yeah.
These two were like, I don't know what
they Yeah, he used to grab them in my back. If they came in the backyard or something, I'd find a dead snake just like lay in there. He would like rip the head off and lay it there, or he'd bring it to the door.
And that made me nervous with copperheads, though. You know.
Yeah, he actually did get a couple copperheads, and one time, it was crazy. One time he was barking and barking. I could not figure out what was wrong. And I have like a deck area. Yeah. And like he kept barking at the deck. And I was like, what in the world's going on? And so I like got my light. It was night. I went down there, like huge, like I would say probably a good 4-foot long copperhead sitting under my deck, curled up. And I was like, holy crap. And I called like animal control and sheriff, and they were like, kill it. They're like, all we do is come out and kill it. Yeah, they're like, take a shovel, kill it, or like shoot it, do something, you know. So that's what I did. I got like my 9. I went out there and I shot it, and I was like, and I killed it. And but yeah, like my dog, that my bully, it was years ago, but my bully was like, he would not let it go. He was like, let's do this.
Hey, thank God he ignored you.
And I was like, man, okay, yeah. Yeah.
That's scary, dude. That's scary.
Yeah, I was. That's the biggest copperhead I've ever seen. Normally they're like, I see little.
Well, yeah, I've only ever seen. I've seen.
Yeah.
I saw a couple little ones in our yard. We used to have a shed back there that was like dilapidated, and it would freak me out every time I let them out there, because and I think I even stopped for like a week because I was just I was like, if there's little babies there's got to be new.
Yeah.
But once we got rid of that shed, haven't seen it since.
Yeah, they like going in like a cool spot, like under the decks and stuff like that. Yeah. I'll say that's when I got chickens and a couple barn cats. Good boy, Louie. Oh, that was fun. Yeah, he's a good boy. But again, that dog's slow, right? Yeah. Very slow. Checked it out first.
Didn't just like come right up.
And he was fine.
Just saying.
Yeah. But yeah, chickens and cats, they kill copperheads.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Chickens do.
I didn't know chicken. I mean, I knew cats too, but I didn't know.
No, yeah, I got a bunch of chickens and they free roam, and I haven't seen a copperhead since I got them. Yeah. I found some dead ones on the edge of my property, but
what do
they
peck them to death?
They'll attack them and they'll just peck them and they'll tear them apart.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm always happy when I see cats.
Yeah, I would say like I have a couple barn cats. Oh yeah.
One time Louie came home. One
it.
time I'm embarrassed to admit, before we had our gate installed, he would pop over this crappy gate I had, and I would run down the street in my underwear basically.
Yeah.
I realized it was gone. I couldn't find him one day. And I was literally about to call. I don't even know who. I didn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
And he just saunters back into the yard with this cat next to him, walking in tandem, like, hey, I brought my
a movie or something.
like I brought my new friend. He loves cats for some reason.
Yeah, I would say he hasn't cared. Like, I mean, he's been friendly with my cats. Like, cause I have outside cats that control things. Yeah. And like most dogs will bark or like want to chase them, you know.
Yeah.
And like he got excited, but he didn't like freak out too bad. Yeah. He was fine. Yeah. Guys did a good job. Oh, cool. Do you guys have any other questions for me?
I don't think so. No, this has been really helpful.
No, this has been really
Any like adjustments you want me to make this last week that like we kind of talk about anything or like kind of stay on track with proofing anything that you want me to?
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be interesting to see if he does have any reactivity in the house at some point. I mean, maybe it's just because it's your house, and like you said, his
I mean, some of this stuff's hard. You can't. It's hard to test certain things.
Yeah. Like some of the stuff,
I mean, like I would say, I mean, honestly, it sounds like he's doing really well with pretty much everything. I would say like on the off chance,
maybe
there's a day
where
he's got maybe not yet gotten energy out or something like that. Like, and
has he been on his Prozac this whole time?
Yeah, because the only one that said like optional was the trazodone.
Okay,
right?
I just wanted to make sure this is him on his Prozac.
Yeah, this is like natural, like the way you guys have everything. Yeah, I would say because the only bottle I saw or in the instructions the trazodone. I haven't given him any trazodone.
He probably hasn't needed it.
And we always hated giving it to him.
Yeah.
I guess one thing I'm wondering is if any of this do you think will like transfer to his vet fear issue, like how I mean they have to we have to give him like 2 trazodone, 2 gabapentin night before and morning of, and then they can handle him sort of, and then they have to stay like just to trim his nails, like that's what we're talking.
I mean, I would think so. Usually it does. Honestly, that's more the vet, because like I've worked with some vets that are just not good at like nervous dogs, right? And they add too much stress too fast, and then I was talking about prediction errors, right? If they're responding a certain way, he's gonna think in that area he does that, right? So like it should transfer over, but if it doesn't, you could let me know, and I would even be willing to like go to the vet with him and talk to the vet and see if they would be willing to do some prediction error like tests with me, or because I have gloves and they could wear and stuff, where I go, hey, I don't think he would ever like bite, but like
and I've seen it where
like
so basically he does his screech.
Yeah, the screeching. Like
and
even if they just try to touch his ears or something.
Kind of all get together and they say, well, the position that we are in, we feel that
they feel like they're putting him under unnecessary stress.
We're stressing him out too much, so we're not going to provide services unless we can sedate him. And my position has always been like, I get it, he's kicking and screaming, but I don't think he's gonna bite you, and I think you kind of just have to pick him up kicking and screaming and just do stuff and not make me pay $10,000 to sedate him.
He needs his nails trimmed, or he needs a vaccine.
But my pleas fell on deaf ears.
I mean,
it would be something that would help us a lot if he didn't have to be actually sedated every time he needed vet care.
Yeah.
I think he just never was vetted, probably you know, and so he just gets really uncomfortable.
And again, he thinks it works. right? And it does work.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Like
he gets to get knocked out
every single time, right? And so like with that, like I have a vet I work with that does pretty well with nervous dog stuff. And so like if I am working with a rescue and I need to get them in on something, right? I use that vet because they're willing to do prediction errors with me every time, and they're willing to test it and go, okay, this dog's just throwing a fit. We're just going to work through it, right? And things like that. Honestly, a lot of vets don't like trainers because we kind of give opposite recommendation of what they do when it comes to behavioral stuff, because we do it every day. They do it off medication usually, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like there's definitely...
And they push pharmaceutical stuff a lot, in my opinion, like because they make money off of it, right? And so like if they see like an opportunity, in my opinion, they kind of push it and go, oh cool, and like they kind of make money off of it, right? Where like
100%.
in my opinion, it's like avoid medication as much as possible unless the dog absolutely has to have it, because medication overall isn't great for the dog, right? It hurts, it messes with their liver and their kidneys and all kinds of stuff,
they
right?
really do. Like, I remember thinking, like, because of all the medications he was on, and like, I was like, I haven't really seen like a liver panel or anything like in a while from him, like you know, and they're, don't get me wrong, like they're not like irresponsible, and they do check that stuff, but like, you know, like there was one point where they wanted to add another medication. I was like, I feel like we're just
kind of spiraling here,
putting shit on a, you know, whatever that saying is.
So, like, my recommendation, if your vet would be willing to, we could even schedule it ahead of time. And, like, after he goes home, like, gets settled, everything's good. If your vet would be willing and let me go with you guys and talk to them and ask them, like, would you be willing to do a prediction error?
And just try it without sedation,
you know,
like,
I can control them enough if I have to.
We could just say, like, we've just done this program. I think they would, and he goes to the vet's office for his daycare. And so he's very comfortable with those girls there, but it's when you bring him to the vet side and they want to handle him, he gets really nervous and does his like reactive thing. But and again, like the worst thing is just people don't realize it. The worst thing to do is give in to that stuff, because then they just repeat, right? Because that, you know, like in psychological point of view, like from them, right? When we're using negative and positive, right? Our goal is positive encourages a new behavior, right? Negative encourages less behavior on something bad, right? So you know, some people will be like, oh, I don't want to punish the dog for doing this, this, and this because it can add stress. Well, it's okay. You can add stress as long as they have a way to get out of the stress later, right? Like, I added stress. I had to, right? But I gave him an option to get out of it. And then I taught him, get out of the stress over here. Don't do it over here,
and
right?
it's, you know, there's stress and there's stress. I think it's really easy to conflate, like, you know, the dog doing a screech because, you know, they don't want to do this thing with, like, this dog is truly like under duress. Like it's easy to confuse.
You would
those
think
things.
he would be the way he sounds sometimes.
But when you take a step back, that's not what's happening.
I could hear him down the hall, and she's like, "I promise, I was only just trying to look in his ears." And you could, and he went on for minutes.
And then I was like, "Why were you trying to do that?"
Of
course that was gonna happen.
Like, and that's where like vets and trainers kind of clash, right? Because like, unfortunately, in the training world, like what I have to do is sometimes people see it a certain way, right? And I get flack for stuff all the time, and like I get people that comment on my stuff or post things that are like, "Oh my God,
people,
this person did this. This guy did this.
You used an electric collar. You're a barbarian.
This guy's abusing a dog because he's making them do this, right?" And I'm like, okay, oh, what is that, huh? And I'm like, okay. This is what I tell people. Would you rather have the dog hurt somebody and put the dog down, right? Or eventually, maybe something happens, right? What's more inhumane? I take a dog and go, man, I don't want to add stress to this dog, but the dog can't live life this way. Put the dog down.
And I gotta say, as far as trainers go, I have seen way more aggressive trainers than
okay, good.
So like one of my friends is in the military, and he's like
he was a military
K9.
Yeah, he worked with
They're intense. I've worked with some of those guys.
Oh yeah, and like so now he's met Louie, and basically like he met Louie and he was like beating the shit out of my dog. Yeah, and I was like, hey, I trust you. It's cool.
It's old school stuff.
And he was like, Jim, you can't let him do that. And he just like grabs me. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, it's all good. Like, you know what you're doing. But my point is like, dude, like anybody who says your training style is aggressive, like that's insane.
Yeah, like, no, I have, I've got people that hate me because like they watch my videos or I've worked with their dog and they've been like, oh, you did that, blah blah. And I'm like, yes, I had to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not mean. I'm not being aggressive. I'm not being abusive. Your dog's fine, right?
Yeah.
But I had
the dog trusts me more.
Yeah, exactly. The dog
likes
trusts me. He likes me. Like he trusts that I won't let anything happen.
Yeah.
But I had to tell him don't do that, right? Because he was going to hurt himself.
And those are the people that you worry about giving their dog back to them because you're like, yes, that's really like where you stand.
I have been worried, and I've had, unfortunately, cases where, like, I've had to...
You worked with them, and then it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it doesn't work, and then they try to come back to me, and I've had to take them to court and be like, look, like, this is what we have to do. Right? Yeah. This is, like, what happens, and this, you have to do it like this. And because they're like, oh, I want my money back, blah, 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 right?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, no, look, like, this is what happens, right? And I've had to like take them to court and like prove like this is what happens, this is what's going on, right?
If you're willing to, ostensibly dump your dog off for 6 weeks and think that it's just going to be fixed, then you're not going to have to do anything. I just had somebody like post stuff like on my stuff, being like, oh yeah, they told me I was going to have to keep up with the training. How crazy is that? And I was like, yeah, you have to keep up with the training. That's the whole point. Like, you have to. And then they're like, he wouldn't give me my money back. I'm like, no. People think because
you did what you were supposed to do.
I did what I was supposed to do. You didn't do what you were supposed to do.
People have unrealistic
people are crazy.
That's why you signed the contract, and that's why you sign a bunch of safety waivers and explanation waivers and all this stuff. Because I've had people use things incorrectly and hurt their dog after I told them you have to do it this way and this way. Like, that's actually why, like, I'm kind of becoming a little hesitant of trying to teach people how to use prong collars, because I had a lady that tried to blame me for hurting her dog with her prong collar after I trained the dog, and then she did it incorrectly and she hurt the dog, like add pressure marks.
He doesn't need a prong collar, right?
No, I haven't used one. He's not. I haven't seen any need for it. Like I'm just using the slip lead.
Okay.
So
we'll just use a slip lead.
That's what Connor, the K9 guy,
he was like, get him a prong collar.
Get him one down.
I was like, I don't think that's gonna work. I think he's just gonna choke himself to death with it. Honestly.
I mean, they are helpful. Like, we're using them with them, and they're doing fine.
It's a tool. It's a tool. I guess.
When we first got this dog, she would drag my wife, almost knock her down, pulling her on trails like this.
Yeah.
After we got a prong collar, and guy showed us how to use it.
Yeah.
One pop.
Yep.
Yep. Now there's no pulling.
Yep. Yeah. Because she learned, I can't pull on it, right? Yeah.
But he said he taught. He had a woman that had like a 150-pound mastiff, and she was like 75 years old.
Oh my God.
He said the dog would literally drag her through the yard.
Yeah.
He's like, I showed her how to use the collar. Now she walks the dog with no problem.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I use them with my dogs and stuff. Like my protection dogs, they wear prong collars because their prong collars, their walking collar, their flat collars, their protection collar. They know the difference. Okay. And so like I do that all the time, right? Like, a lot of clients, we use the prong collars. I've just, over the last couple of years, I've been a little more hesitant, like picking clients a little more specifically with the prong collar, where I'm like, okay, I know you're going to listen to me.
If you do it wrong,
because if you do it wrong, you could hurt the dog, right? Just like anything else. If you do anything wrong, you could hurt the dog, right?
I mean, even with a normal leash, man. If you pull back on the dog's neck,
Even slip lead, if you add too much, you could choke the dog, right? Like, it's all about balance, right? but I've been a little more careful because she's like blasted that you did this to my dog and trying to comment and do all this stuff and like show this, and I had to take her to court and prove a bunch of stuff and show the videos and the pictures and like everything she signed and how to do it, and our we record everything like with the client, so I'm like, this is what I told her, what's going on, right? But so like a lot of times it's people,
like I said before,
it's
really more about us.
People.
Is there like anything you'd recommend, like working with him on, with knowing like we're having a baby soon and he's never been in a house with a newborn or anything?
So I mean, he has, like, I have a 2-year-old.
He's always been good with kids.
He's been around my 2-year-old
what
and
we've
stuff.
been
He's been
told
fine.
is that he's great with kids. If my parents can't watch him, one of the girls from the vet is his pet sitter, and she has 3 little kids, and they fight over him. They're like, he's my dog. No, he's my dog. And they love him, and he's always been good with kids. I just didn't know if I feel like there's all this, like, these opinions.
Louie, I know, they barked at you first. You're alone. Thank you.
There's all these opinions about, like, how do you introduce your dog to the baby, and, like, all this stuff. I just didn't know if you had any thoughts about it.
This is what I do with my dog when I had my kids. So, like, before we brought the baby home, the baby has like the blankets and the hats they put on in the hospital and all that stuff, right? I'd take a couple of those and I'd go and I would give the dogs the scent. And I would go, see, good. And if the dogs became overexcited with the scent, I would correct them. And I would go, I'm going to correct you with the scent because this is my baby scent, right? And then I walked in and I held the baby, right? And I would get down and I would let each of my dogs sniff the baby, controlled. And if they got too excited, nip it in the bud right there, and I'd correct. And I'd go, you can't do that, right? And I would do that for every day for the first few weeks. I would just individually, each dog, the interaction, hold the baby, right? And I would pet the dog, and then I start taking walks with the baby and the dog, right? And walking is a bonding technique, right?
I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think he'd be. I think he'd be okay with a stroller, probably.
Bumblebee, bro. Look. Big old bumblebee. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why are you liking it? But yeah, so like that'd be my recommendation. Is it's more scent based. Just like you bring some, like, while the baby, you guys are at the hospital, take a day, bring the stuff and let him sniff it. If he gets too excited, correct him.
I don't really anticipate him being a problem, honestly.
I don't think so.
I was just curious.
He has a fairly low prey drive, like, you know, like things like that. Those are the dogs I worry more about, like dogs with higher prey drives and like things like that.
Small humans.
Because babies sound like prey, right? They goo, blah, 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 and all that, and like, and the crying is overwhelming. And it sounds like small animals. So like horrible cases that you read about and things like that, typically it was a dog with very high prey drive. The people left the baby alone with the dog, which is dumb. And you, like, don't be an idiot and don't leave your baby alone with the dog, right? The baby started crying, it sounded like prey, and the dog reacted, right? That's like 99% of cases that are issues.
Why I literally was not even thinking to ask that question.
It
was more about like the introduction thing, because a lot of people just have different opinions about like how much you should let your dog interact with the baby, and I'm like,
I mean, like my mom,
I think he'd be.
I grew up with dogs, but my dad was more relaxed. My mom was a little more like with it. And so like when, you know, I have big dogs, and so like when I had my first kid, my mom panicked because I was like, I'm gonna let the dogs just be with the baby.
Definitely,
they're part of the kid's part of the family, the dog's part of the family. They just exist, right? So like my big bully would like play with my baby on the floor and stuff like that. And my Rottweiler, same thing. Like he would lay there and the baby would crawl on him and do stuff. And I just monitored. That's all I did. Like I just monitored. My dogs knew what to do. If my dog got too excited or I noticed the baby was being too much for the dog, I would remove the baby from the situation. I would correct my dog, and then I would give my dog some space, right? Because typically, like, they don't mean to do anything, but what can happen is the baby pulls the dog's ear, and what a dog would do to a puppy is go and correct the puppy, right? If they do that to a baby, the baby can get really hurt, right? So it's more about just be responsible, like monitor, make sure everything's okay, and don't ever leave them alone.